Okay.
And we're live. Never a doubt. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Second Act Career Success. Well, we've been, everything was going great, and I decided to get cute and change one of the settings, and all of a sudden, nobody heard Steve for a long time. But we finally got it back using my headset, so here we go. Welcome, everybody. Here we are, back from the backyard. It's warm enough. I'm going to be able to enjoy my Babalu. Hooray. And we've got some great guests. First of all, Mr. Cole, how are you, Lee, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. You got a jacket on. Is it cold down there?
It's still cold. I'm basically waiting around for spring now.
Yeah, it's been miserable here too, but finally it's a little warmer. I say miserable. It's not like Buffalo. And where our friend John is. John, you getting lots of snow there, John?
It's getting close, Steve. We had a little on the ground the other day because I'm up here in New Hampshire near Boston. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is John Paduchak, and we also have with us Ted Wasco. Ted, I'll let you say hello. Ted, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, thank you, and good to be on here. And just for to tell you where I'm from, it's the UK, as Steve knows.
Oh, I know, but now everybody else knows, so that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Guys, John and Ted are good buddies of mine, known them for quite a while. They've been killing it with Hangouts and podcasting, and when I say killing it, I don't mean just for themselves. They literally teach people how to do this. And they introduced me to somebody last week, and I couldn't believe the results that they were able to show this person in such a short period of time. And it's doing exactly what we've been talking about here at Second Act Career Success. We're talking about how to build that new career, build that new lifestyle, chase your passion, and just do what you love to do. And, you know, a few weeks ago we talked about all those tools, and I showed you how I had set up my podcast, how we were doing this Hangout. And John and Ted just said, yeah, you're doing all right. Wait till you see what our people are doing. My jaw hit the floor, and I said, you guys got to come on the show and talk to us about it. So what we're going to talk about today is what John and Ted are doing specifically with Hangouts and podcasts, and how they are working with people to help them build their credibility, achieve expert status, and just, you know, put themselves in front of the world so people can see them doing what they love and chasing their passions. So, John, I'll start with you. I'll bring you on, and I'll let you and Ted take it from there, and Lee and I will chime in as necessary.
Sounds good. Thanks, Steve. Well, number one, it's great to be here. And yeah, we do have some great things going on with Hangouts. And you know, Ted and I started back in 2013, May of 2013. So just during that period of time, we've come a long ways with, you know, getting started with Hangouts, kind of feeling it out, and became evident though very early on that it was easier for two people to figure out this thing than one. It's kind of hard to keep up with all the Google changes, as you can imagine. But if you want to unmute Ted, you can chime in a little bit.
Thank you. That's okay. You'll find that we have our banter between ourselves as well, because we like to make it fun. We give the information out, but the most important thing is to have fun doing it. And if you have fun and you enjoy it, you'll learn so much quicker. So yeah, I mean, so we started on Hangouts, as John just told you, but when we started, there just wasn't the information about, and what information there was crap, absolutely crap. So we found our way around Hangouts in the trenches, basically. We made the errors, we made the cock-ups and everything else, and that was the way we learned, and really the best way we learned.
Yeah, you know, I often say that, you know, Hangouts are simple, but they're not easy. There's a little bit of ramp up to getting started. Steve, you know that because you see that a lot just in the different things that we do, right? And so there's a little bit of ramp up and getting started. It's really not a difficult process, but one of the things that we found is that the easiest way to start was with a buddy. Like everything else, you know, if you're going to work out, you want to work out with a buddy, right? You work 10 times harder, you get twice the results. And then, of course, the other thing that we found is that it's a great way to kind of practice by yourself and make quick videos once you get past the buddy process. So we really worked on getting that out, teaching it, and people were getting really familiar with the controls and really able to use Hangouts pretty quickly. And then we just found some really creative ways of using Hangouts. And so we do a lot of promotion with Hangouts. So we put up a lot of video and promote affiliate products, do a lot of that. But the interesting thing that we find is that by doing that, you're really getting people to know, like, and trust you really, really quickly. As you know, if you're face-to-face with people in the sales process, that's a key piece that you want to get across.
Yeah, so it's like, for an example, we had a couple of people that we were helping out, and John had never met them before, and they actually asked him to go. Was it New York to meet them, or I can't remember.
Yeah, met them in Connecticut. We decided to get together, and we'd never met before except on video. So we decided to do a little meet and get together, because they were about 3 hours from me, and it was like we were old buddies. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, because you're face to face with people here. It's almost like you, Ted, and I, and Lee are hanging out in my living room talking. So it's really a powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like ourselves and Steve. I mean, so we've never met in person, but hopefully that will change shortly. But I mean, say he's like a friend that we've known for years and years. It's just so great, and that's the thing that you can do with Hangouts. If you've got the information, you can get yourself out there. You can help people, and the thing is, they can see you on camera. So they know that if you don't know what you're talking about, or if you're not quite telling the truth, and that's what we've found, that the people that shouldn't be selling stuff on the internet aren't using Hangouts in this face-to-face manner. So that's a real benefit for yourselves.
Exactly true. And Hangouts are good for so many things. They're great for creating content. They're great for doing webinars, telesummits. Podcasting, repurposing and podcasting. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on and on of the different things that you can do with them. It's totally up to your creativity. So many things that you can do. Yeah, shoot.
I was telling you a story this morning. I met with somebody yesterday, and this is a local businessman, happens to be a doctor, and he got all excited. Somebody had referred him to me, and we started talking. And when he heard that I did Hangouts and webinars, he said, "Oh, will you show me how to do it?" He said, "I'll hire you to do that." And it's a great thing for us as second actors if we're looking to promote ourselves or build our own credibility or whatnot. We also, of course, have lots of offline marketing consultants that watch us. I'll tell you, there's a market out there for the businesses in your area that want help. They know it's out there. They don't know how to do it.
Totally a market for that. The only trick to it is you got to learn to apply it to them. But once you've applied it to them, it's a fantastic way to get out and really get in front of people in a way that you really can't any other way.
Yeah.
And I think.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to bring Lee in because I know Lee was using Hangouts and he was using them for some different thing with what he does. You were doing like product reviews and affiliate things with Hangouts, weren't you?
Yeah, I did for a while. Frankly, I got so busy with my own stuff with the software that we're selling lately that I just kind of dropped that because there are only so many hours in a day. But having said that, we use webinars and Hangouts video stuff extensively in what we do, and it's a really, really great way to communicate to people. And I love what you said about the authenticity. You can have somebody write a sales letter and be something that you're not, but when you're sitting there talking about it, it's almost impossible to hide. And people really, they really connect with you on a very, very deep level when they're looking at you talking, and that is a really, really good thing.
I mean, so same as what you just said, it's one great way of doing affiliate promotion, especially if you can contact the owner of that product and get him on the Hangout. because you can get him to sell the product for you under your affiliate link. What better way than
Oh, absolutely. And, you probably know the same people I know, but there are a few people who are really, really taking that specific business model of doing Hangouts with, basically doing Hangouts with internet marketing launches, interviewing the person basically does all the heavy lifting for you. All you're doing is hosting the Hangout, asking intelligent questions. People buy through your affiliate link. You rank the video because it's a Hangout. It ranks a little easier. You combine that with a few other secret sauce issues, then I mean, you've got the makings of a $10,000 a month business right there.
Absolutely. And especially the more you do this, the more we learn it's about passive income. And it's a great way to create passive income because the more videos you get out, the more products that you're promoting that you love that are evergreen. And why wouldn't you want to promote stuff that you love anyways, so other people can benefit from it? It's amazing. So, and not only that, people begin to see you, like your videos. You develop a different kind of rapport with them than you do any other way.
And it's not that hard. I mean, you don't have to be the expert to do that. I mean, if you like I work with a couple other partners, and we're creating some really slick software. And I mean, somebody's got to be a marketing expert, somebody's got to be a coding expert. But the affiliate side of that, the business that we just described, which is affiliate products, interviewing people, ranking videos, maybe a little secret sauce. You don't have to have it. I'm just leaving that in case you guys want to mention cool things, so I don't want to steal your thunder. But that right there, that's an easy no-brainer business. I mean, yeah, you got to work, but you do not have to have massive skills to do that business. And there are people who are doing that particular business model and doing extremely well at it.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that. I mean, that could easily be adopted again to the local marketing format. Why not start a who's who in my town, bringing on the businesses and interviewing them? Once you get a little bit of a following going, you could start charging for that and start building an email list that around the whole community. I love it.
Steve, if you continue on that vein, we're going to have to start charging people to look at these things. Because that is, I mean, I want to change the subject really fast, because what you just said is like golden nugget stuff. I mean, local. You know how people sell, like, there was one for sale the other day. It was a mobile directory for businesses. The idea is you got this responsive, mobile-friendly, whatever. You contact a few businesses, you put them on there, then you contact other people and charge them to get on there, right? What if you did that with, I mean, how simple would it be to, like, do a Hangout, your own channel, right?
Super easy.
Atlanta restaurants. You get a few people, you load it up with like 5 restaurants that you already eat at. Just talk to the owner and say, look, get your laptop, you and I are going to sit down, we're going to talk about your business. You load that up and then you go around and charge people. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, there's a different one here. You call your relatives, is it, house, the selling houses?
Realtors, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Realtors, estate agents. That's what you call them.
Yeah, exactly, estate agents. Well, if you get them, say you have an open weekend, you get your staff to go around these houses with their iPads or whatever, and people can see inside the houses by them just using the cameras in a Hangout. So you can have an audience there. You pick a particular weekend or a day and say, we're going to have an open weekend for selling our houses. You can have a look at them without leaving your accommodation. How cool is that?
I mean, the ideas are endless. It's really just getting off your rear end and doing stuff. I mean, I can tell you how to sell that right now. So you pick a house, you don't even know the realtor. Okay, I'm giving away the farm here. You pick a house, you don't even know the realtor, right? Okay, so you got your iPad, you have a friend holding the iPad, you're talking, kind of dress up so you don't look like a schmuck. And you're just walking around the house, talking about this and that and showing the sign and what a nice street it is, blah, blah, blah. You don't even have to get in the house. Now what you do is you rank it for that address, because you know it's going to rank in about half a nanosecond, right?
Yeah.
And then you call up the realtor and say, look, I do stuff like this. I can do it even better if you'll let me in the house. We're going to rank it for the address. We're going to rank it for the subdivision. And we're going to rank it for the city. The bigger stuff we rank it for, the more money you have to pay me. If you're interested in giving me a call. You do 10 of those, you're going to have a client.
Yeah. And I mean, so I don't know if you know, but you can actually rank Hangouts even before you have them. Did I let that out the bag, John?
All right. There we go.
Oh, now we're digging out the big one.
Oh, that.
No. Sorry, that's the next version.
Oh,
No, you know what?
I knew there was some secret sauce in there somewhere.
Okay, let me tell you what blew me away. And, you know, we got some questions that I want to address. Part of it is going to be this. I mean, let's talk about the promotion of Hangouts, because let's face it,
Okay.
at the end of the day, that's what's most important, okay?
Mhm.
Our audience is growing week after week after week. But then you introduced me to Julie, all right? And holy cow, Julie has got, 3,000 plus downloads from iTunes already. She's got over 1,200 subscribers to YouTube, her YouTube channel, that blows away my numbers. So whatever you're teaching her is phenomenal. So, Ted, you just let the cat out of the bag. What are you guys doing? How do you promote this stuff?
Well, there's a couple keys to promotion. Do you want me to start, Ted?
You carry on. I've got a zip.
I'll start with the keys to promotion. The couple keys that we use. I want to step back just a little bit, because one of the things I think that keeps people from doing Hangouts or getting started is I think they got to be fancy and polished, and as you can see here, that's not true. Okay.
Thanks a lot, John.
Just be yourself. Be authentic. Smoke a cigar. Drink a beer. You know, it is what it is. That's typical. So, so the other thing that you want to keep in mind is there's still a lot of people who haven't been on Hangouts yet, and one of the things that we do when we get started in getting going is really teaching them to do little trailers. You do a trailer with your guest. You make sure that they're up and ready to go, and they know kind of the ropes, because so many people still haven't been on. We kind of take it for granted that we're experts here, but there's a lot of people who haven't started with that yet. But the trailers are great because you do just a short trailer and you can use it for promotion. So you can use those trailers for promotion, and then you just line up your interviews. It's really as easy as that. And as far as the podcasting goes, you just need to decide whether you're going to do a podcast on your own or you're going to do kind of an interview series with people. So that's really kind of the basic things to getting started. Just start simple, start easy.
Yeah. You can start on Hangouts, and then as we've gone through Hangouts, basically, you need to know Hangouts. You need to have a G+ profile, and there's a certain way you need to fill that out to really get your business going. And then YouTube, there's certain things in YouTube. For Hangouts on Air, you need a verified YouTube channel, and there's various things that you can do in YouTube of linking videos up to give you even more promotion. You can rank the same video twice if you do a certain thing in YouTube. So it's all of that. Then we've progressed on from there, and now we've got Hangcasting, which is podcasting. We've linked that in, and that is where we're getting massive results on there. And that's not the end of it. We've still got something coming after then as well. That we're everything that we're doing is so new that some of the courses aren't even finished yet, are they, John?
No, we still got a ways to go with a couple of things, but there's a lot of application here that a lot of different things you can apply to get better syndication. I mean, one of the things that really caught my eye with us, Steve and Lee, when we were first starting out, and we were doing a telesummit series, and one of our guests was James Schramko. And I was listening to James as he was talking, and the first thing that James says is, he said, I get 85% of my traffic from podcasting. James Schramko, 85% of my traffic from podcasting. Did that sink in for a second?
Some people, this isn't necessarily just internet marketers on the show. Let's talk about James Schramko, because let's talk about, that's 85% is a big number. but 85% of James's number is a huge number.
Huge number, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
James is an internet marketer, correct, with a big following, correct?
Big following. Internet marketer from Australia. So when I heard that, and I heard him say that, I said, geez, Hangouts, podcasting. Makes sense. So I said, let's put the two together. Both great in their own right. The only bad thing, of course, as you can imagine, if you're driving your car to work, it's kind of hard to watch a video. Would you agree? You might crash into something. So you can see where the podcasting side of things fits in. If you can create great content in a Hangout and then bring it over to podcasting, I mean, it just kind of makes sense, don't you think?
Well, when you say that, John, are you talking about stripping out the audio and making an audio podcast? Or because there's a such thing as a video podcast, is there not?
There is video podcasting. Absolutely.
But
I mean,
I was
Yeah,
going
go
to say, but that's not really for the beginner, because you have to do video podcasts, which is good, but you'll have to have quite a bit of money behind you to do that because of the storage of the videos and the bandwidth it takes.
So there's
Okay.
a lot involved in storage. So it's almost easier to keep the two separate in a lot of ways. You know, keep your videos on YouTube, keep your podcast over here on iTunes, and you're taking advantage of two very huge search engines.
But that doesn't mean you keep them separate, because you still link one to the other. So if they hear the podcast, you make sure they've got a link somewhere to be able to go to your website to actually see, the video of it. So, some people will hear it and then they want to see it and hear it. So, that is where you get them to take action.
Let's talk a minute about what you need to do this. Okay, lots of questions are coming in. What's the best camera? What's the best microphone? Let's also talk about things like backdrops. For me, I had to buy a house to put this on. But, what's it take, guys? Is this expensive to get started? What do you need?
No.
Not really expensive at all.
I mean, John, somebody commented on your camera. That's it. All right?
Yeah.
Just imagine how good it would be if you took it out of the box and plugged it in.
That's exactly true. I keep this around as a spare because every once in a while, if anybody is in Logitech's pipeline, they'll give you a great coupon, and I managed to get a 40% off coupon to go pick up a camera. It cost me I think $56, which is the cheapest you can find with these little beauties.
And that has a microphone too. Using that microphone built into that?
It does. Ted uses just the built-in microphone.
Yeah, just the built-in microphone and the camera, which is brilliant, and just earbuds. So that is good. But John will tell you about a little secret that we've discovered, that if you're going to be doing podcasts, or hangcasting as we like to call it, there's something else that you need to add to that. So do you want to take that version of it?
Yeah, you really need to optimize for the audio side of things, because I hadn't really considered this, but somebody I'm familiar with, we're chatting about podcasting one day. He says, podcasting is kind of like, you ever work in the kitchen and you got the TV on in the background, and it's just there for kind of like that familiar voice in the background, and until the resonance kind of catches, it's there, but it doesn't really catch your attention. But if you speak closer to the microphone, and you'll notice that, that's why they've got the pop filters. You want to be as close to the microphone as possible. So whatever you choose for a microphone, and I've got a blue Snowball, but whether it's a Yeti or whatever, obviously you can see a big difference in the tone of the voice when you get closer to the microphone.
Now, can you hear the difference there? So
You can
with
feel
us
it,
being
but it's just
visual,
hearing, right?
it doesn't matter. But if you think about it, that you're listening to that, and then John, if you speak into your mic again, you'll hear it actually resonate, and that's the difference. And you then start feeling John's voice, and it starts sinking in more.
Yeah, in fact, it's got me, changing equipment a little bit, because in the early stages we optimized for video. We didn't really optimize for audio. So now we're kind of changing around what we've done and changing equipment.
But,
so as you can imagine, the camera mic's a little far away. I've got my Snowball sitting, 2 feet away from me. But it's not one of those microphones that lends itself to being close to you. So I've got to make some changes, either get a Yeti or something like that that's a little closer to my face.
But to get started, I mean, say literally, if you buy the Logitech C920, you won't go far wrong. You'll be able to get going with this, especially with the Hangouts, because it gives just about the best picture that you can get. I mean, so it's all in HD and everything. Some of it depends on your bandwidth on there, but the other thing is this doesn't draw out of your computer. It actually is self-contained, so there's very little drain on there, and that's why you can hold your bandwidth with this. So it makes a real difference.
It does. I'll tell you another thing about these cameras. They are so good. I think you could do a live event with them. Like if you had a couple of them, I think it would be pretty easy to do just kind of a real easy streaming live event via Hangouts. I don't think that would be too difficult. I think it'd be quite possible.
So I did a quick Google search, and I'm seeing them for around $69 or so. Is that right?
That's about right.
For that camera?
Yeah, about $69.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you're saying all said and told, all done up, you're probably talking $69 for the camera. I don't know, set of earbuds, $10 at the store probably, Walgreens.
Or even if you've got a mobile phone, ones that you've got with your phone,
Yeah,
they're fine.
Sure.
So that's fine. Now you guys, John, I know you've actually got a backdrop behind you, do you not?
I do have a backdrop. I got one of these backdrops that's like, the folding kids' toys? You crinkle them up, you put them in the bag. It's one of those, the 5x7 backdrop, but you can have custom ones printed. You can do a lot of different things. I think it gives a cleaner look to have the backdrop, although people now say now that I got the two plants, I look like I'm in an aquarium. So that's a little odd. All right, or what's the move? The Triffids?
Oh, the Triffids.
The Triffids, yeah. There's a UK movie, I guess, Attack of the Triffids. It's a bunch of killer plants. I look like. So I get some interesting comments about the background.
All right. Hey, we're getting a lot of comments that are going to be way too much for the show about the specifics, and I know you guys have stuff that can help people with it, right?
We do have some stuff that can help people.
All right. Can we leave them maybe with something today that maybe they can take home and just digest a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely we can.
All right. Beautiful. Let's give that out at the end of the show if that's all right.
We will.
Okay.
Sounds good.
How long are we going for, Steve, by the way?
We're going to go to the top of the hour, so we're halfway through. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
So
we got
that's
time.
and then it's almost bedtime for you, Ted, right?
Yeah.
I'm good. I've got my matchsticks out.
That's right. He's ready. He's ready to go.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about promotion. Julie quickly corrected me. Julie's watching the show, and I insulted her by saying she had over 3,000 downloads. And she says, it's actually over 7,000 downloads.
Well,
so I
now,
think she got 4,000 yesterday. Yeah, because yesterday she told me 3,000. I think she got 4,000 overnight. What's she doing?
I was going to
say, Steve, would you have any objections giving her a private link on here and get her on here? Because I'd love
Shall
her
we bring her on?
Yeah, let her
That's a
on.
great idea.
Let's bring her on. Okay, Julie, let me. I'm going to see if I can do that to you, Julie. If I can do
just
that.
give her
a private.
Okay, John, you talk. I'm going to get Julie the private link.
All right, sounds good. I'm trying to think of where we left off.
We were talking about basic equipment.
Basic equipment, and the backgrounds are pretty easy to deal with. Photographic backgrounds are pretty reasonable. I've got like a photographic stand behind this, and it works out pretty well. And then I've got the portable background clip to the top with plastic clips, cheapo plastic clips.
If you've got a wall behind you or that, sometimes what you'll do is to get it rebounding off. So to soften that, what you do is to get a blanket or a sheet and hang that up behind you, and then it will stop the sound bouncing back off again. Yeah. So there's ways, of if you haven't got quite the right places, is to just make something up and make it like you're in a nice room and everything.
Exactly. The sheet thing can be a little weird sometimes because it
Yeah.
just doesn't have the right look to it. But the backgrounds, they're relatively inexpensive, $56, I think. And it's funny, people immediately go, oh, I'd like to do the green screen thing. Don't do that. Just get kind of a plain white, start
Right.
out simple. If you get to the stage where you want to mess around with that, then by all means. But this is a good way to start. Another way that you see is people have dividers, the little room dividers. And they work great too. Many of them have like the cloth inserts in them. You want something that kind of absorbs sound instead of a hard wall behind you. So those are just kind of the main things. And then I think the biggest thing we see challenges with when we run into people is that they're not hardwired. So they don't have hardline Ethernet cable. They,
Who's that, I wonder?
yeah, we don't know anybody like that, do we? Yes, yes, we do. But you can get away with it. You can get away with it, and probably the reason you can get away with it is you've got really, really fast internet where you are. And lots of people, if they've got super fast internet, they can get away with it. Usually your wireless signal is variable. It's up and down, and so it doesn't hold a nice constant connection for most people. So it doesn't work so hot. So we suggest hardwired internet. And what am I missing, Ted?
Turn everything else off in the background. So if you've got like Skype and bits and pieces, anything that's draining resources on your computer, get them down. The other biggie is try and reboot your computer before you start one. That way you'll have a clean actual computer without drawing things on there. So that's another biggie, really. To learn Hangouts, as I say, we just recommend you actually going through we're going to offer a course, aren't we? Free, like that will give away, which will get you started on there.
Equipment list. So we got an equipment list in there too that you can take a look at. So there's a lot of good things in that. And I was saying to Steve earlier that one of the things that blows my mind, Ted, is the number of people that we talk to that bought big products like Webinar GM or different things and said, I've been in the audience of Hangout. I watched it on YouTube once, and I'm like, you bought a $300 product, and they've never been in a Hangout before, never been in the panel, never tried one. It's amazing. It's obviously fairly difficult to get started because there's an awful lot of people that still haven't done that.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got a Webinar Jam community, which is a platform that runs on Google Hangouts that uses that platform, and we set that up purely because there were so many people having trouble and everything, and we actually just help them out, and that's why we know the ins and outs of what people are coming against and everything. So yeah, they just expect to be able to use it like that, flick a switch and go in. Some of it was the actual sales on Webinar Jam that made it sound like that, but believe me, people have struggled.
And I see somebody mention PowerPoint. PowerPoint can be really challenging for people to get started with. I usually use, like Drive Presenter. There's a lot of other options as well. As long as you can confine your presentation to a window, you can work in it. But it's tricky for people to get started with. That's another thing that can be a little tricky. And we do have videos in our community on it. So if you want to stop by and see, we do have those available.
Yeah, because what we do, we actually cater for everybody. So we cater from the beginner who doesn't know anything to the intermediate who knows some, not everything, but can pick up things, and the high-end person. So where they're doing coaching and bits and pieces like that. So literally we cover everything. We do our own coaching on there. There's several different levels of that we cover. So it all depends what you feel comfortable in and everything else. So I noticed in one of the in the chat there, somebody said they'd bought some courses that were quite expensive. So I'd like to know what courses they actually were that which would be nice, because quite a lot of the courses out there are out of date, and they were out of date when they were released, and we're still seeing them being used as bonuses and bits and pieces. So if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind saying, seeing what they were.
If you want to send privately, we're
Yeah.
just curious, because we see that a lot. As you guys know, I mean, gosh, Google makes changes like every other day. Even today, Steve's typing something in the chat. I said, "Hey, cool, speech bubbles." Hadn't seen that before. This is something new just today that Steve was typing in the chat. We just happened to notice we got speech bubbles coming out of Steve now, so that was pretty wild. And we see kind of that stuff. So because we're doing it so much and we're on the edge of it, we're constantly learning ourselves. So that's why I think we've got an awful lot to teach.
Is Julie coming on, Steve?
Yeah, she said her computer crashed. I see a note of. So she said
Steve,
she'll
you've
be on.
got to unmute yourself.
Let me ask you guys
Yeah.
a very related topic. But the full-time online entrepreneur in me, the heads, the things are spinning, and
Sure.
I've sold info products for years, and I mean, look, there's no whatever, and I may never put up a whatever. Okay, let's talk about how would somebody who's willing to get in the trenches and do the work actually do this and start to make money with it. Give me like three. I don't mean like step one, step two, step three. Nothing stupid like that. But give me like 3 avenues that a person could. And I don't mean like make money in the next 47 hours either. But I'm talking about really building a business. 3 avenues that a person could do this kind of thing with. Because what I'm thinking. I mean, I've got my Logitech headset that one of my business partners told me I could mute today.
Right.
Who knew, right? I mean, that's where my brain is, right?
Well, I got 3, right?
Yeah, that's where my head is, But one thing I'm really good at is figuring out how to make money. So let's kind of switch the conversation over to more of a business platform. I mean, this.
Sure.
This thing. So give people like a good place to start so that they're moving in the right direction and headed toward cash.
I think you hit on the biggest one early on, and that's video promotion of products.
Okay.
So I mean, that's obviously one of the easiest places to start. The other one that is huge is podcasting. We talked about that a little bit because people do very well with it. We're seeing people that make six figures monthly on their podcast. The John Lee Dumases and the Pat Flynn's of the world. So we're seeing that. Content creation. We can quickly pump out a video and post it on our blog. Some of us don't like to write. So that makes our content creation a lot easier.
So there's no excuse for anybody who's actually watching this or going to watch saying, I haven't got any product or anything. You can make one. Get on a Hangout and actually make one. There's just no excuse. And if you don't want to actually start off being on the camera, you haven't got to be on the camera. You can actually take an affiliate product and go inside it, use Camtasia or something like that to record the screen and walk people through it, which is an ideal review platform. Hello, Julie.
Hello, Julie.
Hi. Can you hear me? I'm bopping from different computers. My laptop crashed.
Now,
Yeah,
I like
we hear you
Julie's
just fine.
background.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hey,
happening.
Julie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little hipper than you guys, and Steve's got to paint a whole house behind him. So yeah.
The only thing that's kind of funny with these backgrounds, and I've got a group of EFT people that I work with, tapping folks, and they'll have backgrounds like this, and they look like they're sleeping during the broadcast. It looks like they're laying, like in bed or something. It's really funny. So it's kind of cool.
I feel like Julie's in bed staring up at the ceiling, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. So you got to be a little careful about that. I'm just
Okay, we should stop that part of the conversation right now because the 12-year-old in me just took off with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop it. But Julie, I'm so glad you're here. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you all today?
We're doing great, thank you. So, come on, you're the superstar. Everybody wants to hear. What are you doing there? You're doing such a great job getting notoriety for your Hangcast.
Well, I think, again, I give John and Ted credit for teaching me, and I'd ask 1,000 questions, and I'm always trying to make it better. How I listen to what they said. I don't want to give away too many of their secrets. You got to come on over and join our group. But, I rolled out on iTunes, and then the second phase for me was getting it in Stitcher and TuneIn and all those places. I think it's really important to get on social media and be active on that. I use Google Plus a lot, really, and I think knowing your SEO and being able to tag it so people can find it, as I think most of your viewers probably know, you have new and noteworthy for 8 weeks on iTunes, so that allows people to find you. Now, I have passed that point, but I will go on another computer and check and see, and I'm still coming up because I tag the podcast really well. And I think it's really important to find your niche and take your passion. My podcast is Clearing the Clutter on the Inside and Out because I talk about emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. People weren't doing that, and so that's kind of my take on clutter that was something a little different. And then also I'm doing double duty. After I use Hangouts to record the video, it's uploaded as a podcast, but it's also uploaded to my YouTube channel as well.
So just tell people, you mentioned it in the noteworthy in the actual iTunes. Just presume people don't know what that means, so they actually know.
For the first 8 weeks that you put up a podcast, they will promote you and new and noteworthy because they want people podcasting and they want to get the word out about you, so you're included in that little strip. But once the 8 weeks goes by, you're not included. But again, if you do a really good keyword search, people will be able to find you.
So that's what we did with Julie. We got her to set up her channel right, with the right amount of videos, although she had a heart attack with John before she wanted to release that, because she said, but that's a month's worth or a month and a half's worth of videos that I've done. You want me to put it on there?
Well, you guys get the complete credit, and I did have a mini freak out. It was a Friday night, and thank God John's wife has a schedule like my husband at work, because I was like, oh my God, because I wanted to launch on September 9th. There was some woo-woo numerology and spiritual stuff going on, which was very important to me, and so technically the first episode aired that day, but I really believe I uploaded a month's worth, which how I do my podcast is weekly. Plus, then I do a bonus that I do at a random. I switch up the days and the times just in an effort to find other people. And I had that. And so when that first one went live or came up on that Tuesday, people had 6 episodes to look at. And they, again, because I focus on different areas of clutter, you were going to find something that fit you. And so that was I didn't know if I could say it, but that, again, they were 100% right to recommend that. And I believe that was made a huge difference.
And the great thing now is that Julie's got herself established, and there's actual people finding her and getting in touch with her. So, that's how it can work out. You haven't got to go and look for people to work with. They're finding you because they can see that you're making a success of it.
And I want to talk about, you guys didn't know this because we haven't talked a lot this week. Someone contacted me, and they found me via YouTube. And the first thing they said to me was, your YouTube channel looked more professional. And so, again, I'm not going to give away all the ninja tricks, but one thing, with keyword that Ted and John taught me, but I also had a custom thumbnail. I've created playlists and things like that. Again, not something that's huge and slick and it's you, but they said that made the difference because I wanted to contact you based on how your YouTube channel looked. And I know you all had said earlier in the program, and I want to emphasize this, the consistent comment I get on YouTube is, you are so authentic, I can relate to you. And that's, I believe, why I continue to get subscribers and it continues to grow, because I'm relatable. Again, I love how I don't think something's a mistake if you learn from it. And that's a big hurdle because I have perfectionist tendencies that I needed to get over. But if you've learned from something, then you can grow from it.
That is really, really very cool, Julie. Do you mind me asking, in terms of making money off this stuff, in general? I mean, what, forget details, but in general, what is your general business model in terms? I mean, are you selling products or?
Well, funny you should ask. I talked with this guy Steve the other day, and because I'm in the top 10% of podcasts, and I want to get to the top 5%, and it's going to happen in early next year. And I said to Steve, "Oh, I want to get my crazy cat Joey to get 1 million views on YouTube." And Steve was like, "Why? You don't have any product to sell." But I'm happy to say, had a brainstorming session with John and Ted yesterday. I now offer clutter-free living office hours. It's Ask the Professional Office Organizer if you're stuck. I also have clutter-free and decluttering classes that are also recorded and available in video. And next week, I'm going to have 2 ebooks, one on being green on organizing and one on 10 10-minute tips to declutter your life that will be available next week. And then those are my products, and then I've started a mastermind for clutter-free living, which is for people who want a little more intense work. And then I have a bigger workbook I'm working on now that'll be released in a couple months. So that's where I'm starting from.
Very, very.
Now, see, that was a mistake and that I made, and I should have. I think my mistake was, but I learned from it, so it's not a mistake. My learning lesson was, I was like, oh, I can get podcast advertisers. That's the way to do that. And I've completely switched my thinking to I'm going to promote what I'm doing and promote my products. And so I've had people approach me if they want to do advertising and it's worth the money. I'm more than happy to do that, and it fits with the show. But I have too many good products and things to help people that I want to get out there. So that was a mind switch for me.
I was going to say, the other thing that people don't know with Julie is that I believe that was for 3 years you used to run your own TV show, wasn't it?
An internet TV show, yes.
So, and you absolutely detested that, didn't you?
I hated, I had to drive to a studio. I didn't produce it, which meant sometimes perhaps other people were jumping in, which was not fun. And I hated the grind of having to do it every week. And what I love about Hangouts, and then also I interview people all over the world. So with that, it's easier to work with schedules. I mean, I had some people in Europe who were real champs and at first time did it like 2 and 3 in the morning, but that's not fun for anyone. So I can do everything from my home. It's a little off because I'm on my husband's computer, but I have to tell you, from coming from a studio that was produced, Hangouts on Air is awesome, and it keeps getting better. They keep adding features. It is studio quality. You know, we talked about I have those perfectionist tendencies, and I was talking about when I was editing, and I said to Ted and John, 99% of people aren't going to notice my little glitch, and the 1% that does, that's okay. I can live with that.
Good
I think
stuff.
you're right. Julie, I'm so excited for you because you and I spent some time speaking yesterday, and just in a day, what you've done to take action is incredible. First of all, those of you who know a little bit about my story know that back in '07, I did this crazy little thing with my wife on video, and it's not what you're thinking. But we sold our house. And it ended up being called the Big Bad Home Sale, and we got some notoriety for it. The Wall Street Journal picked up an article about it. I've talked about it before. And I made these videos, and the videos kind of went a little viral. And I didn't care about the glitches. In fact, I got up in the morning and made a video on purpose in my T-shirt, face still scruffy a little bit. I wear a CPAP machine, so I still have a dent in my head from my mask. I look terrible. And that's what I said. I said, hey, I know I look terrible, but I was thinking about something I had to tell you, and this is what I'm saying in the video. And I made a video called "My Neighbors Are a Bunch of Asses." And so, the first frame was me looking really mad, like, my neighbors are a bunch of asses. And people just couldn't help but look at that video and say, what's this guy's story? And look, it was imperfect as hell. I looked terrible, as I said, and everything else. The video went a little viral. And, to John and Ted were saying this earlier, people get this familiarity with you when they see you on video. And we ended up having, part of the Big Bad Home Sale was having this open house. Well, after doing this a few times, people came to the open house and like, oh, hey, Steve, how are you? Good to see you. I'd never met these people in my life. But because they'd seen me a couple times on video, it was like we were best friends, right? And by the way, we sold our house in less than a week doing it in this way. It had been listed for 6 months with estate agents, Ted. Couldn't get the job done. Now, that being said, so that was kind of a funny conversation we had yesterday, and I want to pick up on a little bit because this is what we're talking about. Julie, you're doing a phenomenal job. You are leaving me in your dust in terms of your promotion, your downloads, your subscribers. I'm going to learn from you. But, monetization is what's important. We want to do this. We want to take our passions, and we want to turn them into our new careers. That means we have to make money. All right? Now, I'll share some inside secrets about my business, since that's what this is all about. And I'm a terrible poker player, so I just always show everybody my hand. Those of you who know, I sold a little product this week, and I made about $1,500. Okay? And many of you bought that product. Now, let me tell you what that product was. That product was a transcription of one of these talks. All right? I got the product. We had the talk for an hour. I then took the video, I paid somebody $80 to transcribe it, okay? And I also, at the same time, asked her to format it into a book using a template that you can get from Kindle and CreateSpace. And so for that $80 and the videotape that I made for free, I then took that product and I sold it. And now I'm going to upload it onto Amazon and Kindle and have a book. But here's the important thing. Here's what I was able to do that Julie can't do yet, but she's going to do very, very soon. I was able to sell it. And why was I able to sell it, Julie? Go ahead and tell people why I could do that.
Because of your email list?
That's right. Okay. All of you who bought that product bought it because I emailed you and let you know that I have it. Julie was not doing that. So the first thing I want to say, folks, is when you're doing this, the point that I made to Julie when I said, why do you want 1 million views, is you haven't got your back end in place. You want 1 million views, but you want to take those 1 million viewers and you want to capture them off of your Hangcast, capture them off of YouTube, capture them off of iTunes, put it onto an email list that you own and control and that you can market to. And then you can let the world know about this little $10 product, and I made $1,500 in a week doing that. Julie, you're gonna just blow me away. If I did that with my measly following and you're building this massive following, you're going to be able to just blow me away.
Working on it. That's my goal.
And then I want to advertise on your channel.
You know what? You'd be most welcome.
Yeah, Steve, that's all extremely true. Again, I want to bring out something that I see a lot, that, when Julie started talking, I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. And I was talking with one of my other business partners about this a couple of days ago. There is one thing, just one. This isn't like the Billy Crystal thing where there are three and you never learned it. Okay, there's just one, and I'm going to tell you. There's just one thing that separates the people who are able to do this from the people that aren't. It's not a mystery. It's not a secret. It is getting off your butt and taking action. Just one. That one thing. See, Julie is she's like a poster child for, jumping in the deep end of the pool without checking for water, which is how you do internet businesses. End of conversation. I happen to be right about this. Go figure. But that one thing, see, I love the fact, when she started talking, I'm thinking, yeah, she didn't know this and she didn't know that, but you know what is so cool? She didn't worry about all that crap. She actually went with the stuff that she could do. She made that happen, and just like all really good online entrepreneurs, she said, whoa, I jumped off the building. I guess I'll have to invent a parachute on the way down. That's the way you do it. So you need to just continue that thing, because that thing's working. You can figure out all the other stuff, but see, people sit around and they say, I'm trying not to curse. I get excited and say words I shouldn't when I get excited, but I'm going to try to keep this down on Eagle Scout level. But anyway, people people get all worried about, this or that other thing, and see, I'm seeing her just taking massive action. And I used to have this 3x5 card on my desk that said the words massive action on it. My wife actually made me take it down because I was killing myself taking massive action. But that is the thing. So that one thing, that jumping in, doing it, taking action, let's just drive the car somewhere. Forget the map. Just drive the car somewhere. You will get somewhere other than where you are. But I got so many people who just sit around and screw around with, well, if I do this, and then I should plan, and then no, don't do any of that. Just go. Okay, so Julie, you did that, and that is way cool.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
That's one thing. Julie was very uncomfortable on doing things because she was completely out of her comfort zone, but she listened and she did it. And as we said previously, even before the iTunes bit of it, she was on the phone or Skype to John saying this and that and was panicking. But it's been really great for us because, as Lee said, she's been taking action, and that is the thing. She's listened and taken action. If she didn't understand something or she was getting confused, she'd get in touch with us, not just suddenly stop and say, oh, I'm stuck. She would try and get in contact with us, and if we weren't available at the time, she'd carry on with another part of it, and that was brilliant.
Huge thumbs up on that.
Thank you.
Oh, we lost Steve again.
Have we, Steve?
Is he talking and not saying anything?
I got one of those mute buttons. I got one of those mute buttons too.
Hey, how about that? Hey,
just figured out what that was, like I did.
I have 4 great things to say.
And you set them all on mute. Awesome. You want to try again?
No, I'm only kidding. All right, now, but I will put myself on the screen too, because we're looking at John and I'm talking. So I'm doing my ventriloquism act. All right, now we're getting to the top of the hour. You guys have offered to a very generous offer, but you've got something so folks can get started, right? You want to put down the screen, John, and tell us about it?
Yeah, let me put it up.
And while he's doing that, could I get you folks who have been watching this and you've enjoyed this with Steve, Lee, John, Julie, and myself, if you really think you've got information, why not just G+ it and go on Facebook and bits and pieces? Get the word out. It will do Steve, well, all of us a lot of good, but it will also do yourself a lot of good because, we can start building a community around this. And, when you get a community that actually are like each other, they all help each other out. And that's brilliant. It honestly is. So get those fingers going and G+, Facebook and Twitter, anything else you'd like.
So what I did for your gang here today, Steve, is we have our Hangouts Made Easy Light course, which is just kind of a getting started course. We've got a checklist that goes through the equipment and pretty much everything you need to really get going with Hangouts and get started doing some on your own. And so what I did is I put together a special code for your group here. If they go to johnlikes.info/SteveR and put in the coupon code HMELightFree, they'll get that as a free product. So they can check us out, email lessons daily. It's got a list of the related videos to some of the basics in getting started and a Hangout checklist and equipment guide. And I also put down to follow up with that, if people want to just give us a trial run and check out a month of our coaching, I added in a one-time offer with that. And you can see what's part of the coaching program with us. We do a consult. We have our Hangouts Made Easy full course. They'll get unlimited email access to us. We do a weekly office hour every Monday at 4 o'clock. We also do a Thursday session, which I didn't put in here for some reason, where we do Q&A and any questions that come up during the week. Because, as you know, I think one of the biggest factors to people not getting the results that they want is they get stuck somewhere along the line, right? So we try to take that out of the picture. So this is just something we put together for the gang today.
Hey, John, first of all, unbelievable, and thank you very much. I'm going to leave that on the screen. I'm not going to switch over to me. And Ted, John and Ted, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Do you also go over Google Plus a little bit? Some people are new to Google Plus.
We do. We go over Google Plus, we go over YouTube, and we go over Hangcasting, and we do it kind of on a month-by-month basis. If people go on with us through the coaching program, we include all those courses as part of the coaching as we go along. So each month we cover something new.
I'd like to ask you, I'm going to invite myself onto your program, and let's do a discussion on how to monetize it, the things that we've been talking about this week with Julie. Is that okay?
Absolutely. In fact,
Okay.
we'll set you up.
Okay, I want to do that. It's so important. And also how to build your list, why it's important to have a list and how to do it, okay?
Absolutely.
Because that's going to be so important. But I love what you're doing. And I'll invite Lee to join me with that.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, we'd love to have you.
Oh, great. Now, the other thing I want to add to this, and again, I'm going to leave this on the screen. I put on there, by the way, I've been chatting as Lee Cole. I don't know, Lee, if you noticed that, but when I was having my problems and I left and came back in, I couldn't get back in as Steve, so I jumped in as Lee. All right.
Oh, well.
So some of those comments that say Lee Cole came from me. You'll see down there, like the fourth comment down, I've got a link to our community. If you're not in our community yet, please join that now. John and Ted, why don't you put a link to your community as well? Well, yours is not a private. Yours is a private community, right?
We have a regular community as well. Like people can join the Jam Sessions Made Easy community.
Well, if you want to put a link there, feel free to.
Yeah.
What I
you
want
want
to
to
say.
do that?
Yeah. What I want to say is this. Lee said you have to take action. So I'm going to challenge everybody to follow Lee's advice. In our community, I think the best way to do a hangout is to do a hangout. I would say go into our community and make a post that says, I want to start a hangout right now, come join me, and just do it. And just do it. Don't worry about what your room looks like or anything else. Just get on there. People aren't going to be watching except those that are really invited. Don't worry about it, okay? And just get used to it. Get used to playing with the controls and whatnot. Quit reading about it. I should say quit just reading about it. Start implementing, start doing it. Go in there, make the mistakes, get a little flustered when the settings aren't working. It happens. It's part of the journey. So just get in there and do it, and I'd say do it with somebody from our community. So, and I hope that when people see that happening, you'll go and jump with them and do it with them because it's going to help you as well, right?
Absolutely. You know, we have that available too in our communities. And I was going to say too, Ted, if you want to put in the 2 links, because I obviously can't change screens, for the Jam Sessions Made Easy community, that's a community we have for people who are using Webinar Jam but need more support with Google Hangouts. We also have a brand new Hangcasting Made Easy community where we're going to talk more about this whole process of supporting people with putting together, going from Hangouts to podcasting.
This is incredibly cool, guys. I mean, it's just incredible.
John,
I'm
what
just
was
excited. I mean, I don't have anything more intelligent to say than that. I'm just like, I'm ready to go,
And this is just the beginning. You should see the other stuff we've got coming along. So
I'm sure.
It's even more exciting than this.
John, what was the other community?
Jam Sessions Made Easy and Hangcasting Made Easy.
Okay, that's fine. Just clearing it up.
So if you can put them in the chat, that'd be great.
I'll put the Jam Sessions one in. I just need to get the other one.
Fantastic. Because otherwise, if I go to change screens, I'm just going to mess everything up. So.
But Steve, I love how you were talking to people in our community and saying, "Hey, let's just get going," right? But let me just add one little thing to that. You don't have to have another person beside you to do a hangout.
Correct.
That's entirely true.
I mean, you don't have to have another human being, and you don't have to really have anybody's permission. You just got to have something that you're willing to talk about. So I'm just removing all excuses. Okay. Yeah. I'm saying, do it now. Just turn on the computer, get the thing going, and do your hangout. And it could be as lame as. Hi, I'm Lee. I'm getting into doing Hangouts, and this Hangout is really lame, and I don't really have anything to do. But let me talk to you about getting started. It could be that lame. And frankly, that would be something that a lot of people need to hear.
Yeah.
And if you interviewed your cat, you'd get 1 million views.
You probably would. I think that's true. I've seen some pretty lame hangouts. I mean,
I'm totally
we saw
putting
one.
my cat on a hangout.
Yeah,
Well, actually, David Perdue has got a video, the one that he's got the most hits on, and that is about a baby fox stealing the sandwiches.
it's half the hits to his YouTube channel. It's pretty
Wow.
funny. So he's like, "What do I do with this baby fox? It's like accounts for half the hits to my YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe you should promote it so you get more hits to your YouTube channel, so more people come along."
John, what I was going to say is, if people on here would like to start with Hangouts and bits and pieces, if they join our community, make a post and say that you are on Steve and Lee's Hangout and you want to know more, what we'll do, anybody that wants to do that, we'll take time out and do a Hangout with you all. We'll get you on and bits and pieces so that we can get you started. We can show you the inside of what a Hangout looks like and bits and pieces, so that will get you going from the get-go.
Or tell Steve you want another one, and we'll do that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, if that's something you guys want, then in the chat box say I'm in. Okay, chat and say I'm in, and then follow up. But then you have to take the next step and follow up with John and Lee. How do they do that, guys? How do they connect? They can connect with you, right? You want to put your Google Plus profiles in there? Can you do that so they can connect with you?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Add you to circles? Is that okay?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Absolutely. Look us up, add us to circles. You bring up a good point, Steve. I mean, we use Google Plus really as our calling card. It's got every little piece of information about our sites and everything we do. So, we're big Google Plus users.
I need more help with you on that. We've been talking a lot about LinkedIn lately. Yeah. We've been talking a lot about, people are all over Facebook and everything else.
Yeah.
But let's face it, Google owns, everybody is logged into Google all the time. They own that space. So I think you are right to really, really leverage that.
Well, the other thing that always
people are in. I love it.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that always bugs me is half the stuff that you post on Facebook because of EdgeRank, they may not see, but everything you post on Google Plus gets seen. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing you fight with Facebook, Mm-hmm. I think Google Plus is a more cerebral, technical crowd too.
True, and they own YouTube.
Yeah.
And let's face it, they own the majority of the search engines also. So when you do things the way Google wants you to do them, when you play Google's way, they're going to reward you. Is that right?
That's absolutely true. Big things will happen.
All right. Well, guys, wow, you have made this a great hour and 9 minutes. I really appreciate it. Julie, I'm glad you are our surprise mystery guest. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hey, by the way, everybody go over to Julie and download her podcast. Let's get her up to 8,000. All right, by tomorrow.
Can she stick a link in there, Steve?
Absolutely, Julie. Please stick your link in there.
You
know what? She can't do it. She can't do it because she didn't come to the webinar jam.
Julie, stick your link in the chat, in the normal chat, and then we'll transfer it over.
And we'll paste it over for you.
Okay. There we go. That's a good idea.
So we'll just let this...
We make things happen over here, you know what I'm saying? We'll pull it off.
Is there any other questions? Because my question thing has got stuck, so I haven't seen the questions on there.
The last, we got a lot of people saying they're in. They want to be a part of this. So we were going to follow up, and the way you're going to know about that is in our community, in the Second Act Success community. John and Ted will post the information about when they're going to do that little Hangout bits and pieces, and help you with that. Okay.
I was going to say the other option, Steve. I don't know if you want to do it. Was actually set up a community in G Plus on there, and then we can start getting people in there so that we can keep this community together, so that everybody knows each other. If you want to do that as well.
Well, again, I'm happy to do that. So why don't we do that? And there's that bubble, John.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, that's all fine, but why don't you set up that community and post the info about the community, in our community. I still want to use our community as the home base.
Yeah,
we
no,
can do something like that.
that's great. That's why I sort of said whether you wanted to do it, but we can set it up and do it. But yeah, because I'd like to, have your community together. That way they can still join ours by all means, but same as if we got any offers or we want to do extra training with your lot, we can do that.
All right. Hey, everybody, let's hear it for Ted, John, and Julie. Thank you so much for being phenomenal guests, and thank you so much for that wonderful
This is great.
gift.
This is
Okay.
excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lee, and thank you for that challenge. Now, take that beautiful gift that those guys gave you, and follow Lee's advice, please. Take action. Take massive, imperfect action. I've got a little bigger card than 3x5 because my saying, which is very similar, is imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So same thought there. Just do it, folks. Nike's got it even better. Just do it. All right.
That's the way it works.
It
Thank
is.
you, guys.
All right. This is Steve Rosenbaum, Lee Cole, Second Act Career Success. We do this every Thursday. You can join us live. We hope you join us live. Of course, you can go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel, watch the replays, and connect with John and Ted and Julie. And folks, you're the next success story. So let's make that happen. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See y'all later.